Did you hear that? There was like water just like pissing out from somewhere. It's all like in behind the dash or something. Oh. It's the first time I've got to the end of the road, or near the end of the road, without breaking down, so it's all good. The brakes are terrible in this, they just lock up at every opportunity. Emergency stop? Fucking hell. Right. The car does come with a free bottle of moonshine. This was made in my friend's uncle's bath. There was a previous video of this car running and it sounded like a bag of shit. Somebody said that it sounded like a skeleton wanking inside a metal bucket, but I can assure you the engine isn't actually fucked.
After having seen all that, you may be wondering why the hell would anyone want that car? Well, in my case, I've already got a 2-stroke Trabant, so a 4-stroke Wartburg seems like quite a nice complement to go with that. It seems possibly more reliable, even though it doesn't appear to be that reliable on this. Also, it's got free delivery. I've entered a couple of retro shite competitions before, and I've been mildly put off by the fact that I'd have to go and fetch it from Scotland, and I haven't got enough money or time to do that. So free delivery is a boon, and it's not like I'm going to win it anyway, is it? So I entered.
It's 7:10, 5th of the 5th, 2023. I'm going to hit the button in 3, 2, 1, go. Number 62. Who is 62? Well done, Phil. I'm sure you'll be excited to know that you have won a Wartburg. Well done.
A short time after the draw was made, I was sent a picture of the car on the back of a transporter, and from there it overnighted down from Fife to Nottingham. It arrived at my house at 6:30 the following morning, and I was confronted with this large yellow thing on the back of a lorry, which I hadn't really come to terms with the fact I was the owner of it yet. So I helped get it down off the back of the transporter and then drove it up to my driveway from the car park where I had it dropped off, and that was it really. I didn't have time to do anything with it. I wound the windows down to air it out a bit, and then one of the windows didn't wind up, hence why one of the door cards is missing, and that's where we're picking up from. The rest of this video is basically just you coming along with me while I explore the car for the first time, find out the quirks and see what needs fixing. So without further ado, Wartburg Part 1. So, annoyingly, I've wound the window down because it's been a nice day, thought I'd air it off a bit, and now we have a problem, and that problem is that inside here, the glass has fallen out. It's fallen off the window runner, so before I can pack up for the evening, I've got to take this door card off. Okay. Looks like we've had some water ingress in here. Also looks like this has been off before. So it's an actual runner on the bottom of the window that is one of them's come off. Here lies the problem. So we've got two of these that are supposed to run in these rails, but that one's rotted off. And it also runs in a rail up there and up there. And it can come out of those if it's no longer level, which it isn't, because where are we there? That thing doesn't stay where it should be. So I need this bit here replaced, and it should be alright. I'll leave the door card off because I suspect this might happen again. The window is now adequately up. I daren't wind it down and show you. We are more or less watertight for the night, except for all the water that's coming in from somewhere and gathering on the dash. Right, this key only goes in the annoying way around, unfortunately, which is like that, which is right up against the steering column. quite a bit awkward. Okay, a couple of pumps on the throttle because the choke's stuck on or off or something. Look at that, beast. And it died. Are you shitting me? All the way off, all the way on. Start motor's stuck then. Did hear something about the start motor sticking. The delivery driver mentioned it. Oh my god, this is endless. Okay. Right, let's pull the bonnet. There's a bonnet release somewhere, there it is. Unlike the Trabant, you need to put a stay down to keep the bonnet up. Then we need to find the starter motor. I think that's the bell housing. I don't even know if you can see this. I think that's the bell housing. I think the starter motor's under there. Unsure, but it might be. I've just spotted the steering rack gaiter is loose, so that'll need tie wrapping on. I think we can about manage that. Another one there as well. That's another job needs doing then. Steering rack gaiters. Okay. Right, well, now we know. Other telling things. There's coolant leak repair. Empty. No sign of the cooling leaking into there. Oil looks okay. Not amazing, but not shite. Right. I don't think I've got a hammer in here either. But I do have a screwdriver. Ha! We're back in business. Right, let's hope it keeps running. Okay, so far we've established it as a sticky starter motor, and also that the steering rack gaiters have perished. Another thing we can establish early on is that it leaks water. There's some in there, there's some in all of these. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm hoping it's not somewhere where it's been rotting the structure of the car out, but we'll have to get into it and find out, won't we? So, another thing I noticed when I moved it from down the lane where it got dropped off is that it seems to have a wheel bearing noise. So we're going to drive down the lane and investigate that. You can hear the scraping noise. Other than that, though, it does actually seem to drive pretty well. But you can definitely hear it. I would say that's near side left. Personally. Oh, you can hear all the water. Lovely. Let's leave her running a bit. So, we have headlights, fog lights, rear window heat pointing downwards. On the other side we have hazard lights, rear window heat with the arrows pointing upwards, and rear screen wash. I see. So that's wipers on, rear wiper, which works, and that is wash. That appears not to work, but it might just be empty. There are some weird switches. So this would appear to be some sort of weird switch. Don't know what it does. Hasn't electrocuted me despite the fact it's been sat in water this whole time, so that's going to be a bonus. Oh! What the fuck is that? Okay, good, good. So there's that. Don't know. That switch, for some reason not affiliated with that light. There's two switches here. I've seen those in other Wartburgs. Don't know what they do. Can you see any of this? I'm down here. So these two switches here, I don't know what they do. Let's try turning them both on. Let's turn the fog lights on. The other heated mirror switch, that's on. Let's see what it all does. Haha. Now one of those activates a front fog light. Cool, okay. But which one? Is it this? Yes. Right, okay, so I'm assuming we've got a bulb out. And this is actually front spots. So that's cool. The downwards facing windscreen heat is front spotlights. Rear fog, so they work. Kicking out a pleasing amount of moisture. Yes, we have fog lights. Cool, cool, cool. Now this appears to be a lighter socket on the opposite side of the car. Why it's there is anyone's guess. I'm assuming it's for the driver to use, because there doesn't seem to be another one anywhere. Anyway, let me talk you around this car a little bit. I'll turn it off. I'm sorry, what the fuck? That. What the fuck? Is that what this... What? Okay, so we have a auxiliary starter. I don't know what turns that off. What is this? Is that when you open the door? I don't really know where to go with this. I wasn't expecting that. Fuck's sake. So what causes what? Oh my god. So why? Right. How do you... So that is the sound it makes when you leave the lights on and open the door. Oh my God, this car. Meanwhile, if you turn the ignition on, but don't send it the last click so that it starts, you can use the auxiliary button. Wait. No, you can't use any button. Oh my God, shut up. What the fuck? Right. Nope. That's... Again, why? Right, okay. Well, I feel like we've talked through that area of... What the hell? Oh my God. So, I still don't know what this clearly aftermarket toggle switch does with a light. I don't know what these quite possibly supposed to be here switches do. I know what happens if you open the door with the headlights on, which is insane. Oh my God. Right, okay. Moving on with the tour. Oh shit, turned it the wrong way. Right, moving on with the tour. Let's try the wipers. That works. Far more fancy than the Trabant pump one. Yes, boss. And look at that magnificent triangle of doom there. Obscene triangle of doom. I still can't quite get over... I mean, also, look at these speakers down here. What appear to be 1990s Iowa stereo speakers. Are they Iowa? One-speed wipers. Non-parking. Right, let's leave it on intermittent and see if we have anything. Okay, so let's have a look at the dashboard. Isn't that majestic? I love all the LED-ness of it all. Very 80s, very cheap, actually. Even now, that gauge there, the temp norm gauge, that whole bit there, is like 35 quid or something, which is cool. I like the Wartburg on the steering wheel. There is a problem on this door, which is why the door card's off. I went to wind the window up last night because I left the window open to air it out a bit, and the window fell off its runner because the runner is down here. It's rusted off. So, I don't know if you can see in there, but basically, there's like two kind of pulley wheel type things inside there that run on rails, and that's one of the rails. There's two rails per window. Right, we're going to be brave and open this sunroof. I don't know if this is the source of the leaks. Oh my God. Does the sunroof open? Is it sealed shut? Don't want to break it. Jesus. It feels to me like there's something this isn't doing. Does that like unhook or something? No, that is the full extent of the sunroof, is it? Oh, this bit's falling off. Hang on, I'll put you down, you might be able to see better. Don't know if you can or not. Oh, there you are. So the sunroof's a two-handed job. And it opens all of like 1.5 inches, which is lovely. I would not particularly say that is, that could be the source of our leak. I do need to get on top of the leak, so it might be worth just replacing that anyway. Okay, so let's have a quick look from the outside of this awesome car. We'll start here. This outer wing appears to be attached to this inner wing with seam sealer and probably other things. There's also screws here, bolts. So I'm assuming that this is fiberglass or Duraplast, and I thought that was metal, and it looks like it's rusting like metal. It doesn't sound like metal, so I don't know what the crack is there. One day I might take the outer panel off and see what the underside's like, if I dare. Hammerite wheels, they're all done in hammerite. Wheel arch is slightly crusty. I think this is a repair panel and it's held on with flathead screws. So if it's not a repair panel, I don't suppose it would be that out of keeping with the car, but a bit weird. I quite like this vent. It's got a kind of 80s vibe to it, hasn't it? Even though it's a 1990 car. These little bump stop reflector things, I've only ever seen them that they clip round the edge of the door channel, right around the edge of the door. These ones appear to be glued on, so this is new. I've never seen that before. The fact that that repair panel on the rear arch is okay means that hopefully this is okay too, if I put a plate over it. It's not structural because it's a body on chassis car, so there's obviously been a rust hole here. Somebody's repaired it with fiberglass. Then the fiberglass has got wet, presumably because of all that shit in there, big holes. The fiberglass has then rotted the metal around it, and we're back to square one. So, ideally, I would weld and fabricate a plate to go over there. I can't do that because I can't weld. So what I'm going to do is drive it to someone who can weld, but to do that it needs an MOT, so I'm going to have to rivet a plate over it, because the main requirement, if it's not structural, is that it's not sharp, and that has the potential to be sharp and very flaky. So I'm going to rivet a plate over that, and then either take it to a welder, or if I can wait until September, I'm going on a welding course at college. So I'm going night school, baby, and I'm going to learn how to weld because it's a skill I've always wanted. So anyway, that's that. This is the Volkswagen 1.3 version. It's not actually a Volkswagen engine, it's license built, but it's basically the engine that's in the 1.3 Golfs and Polos of the late 80s. There it is. There are a few differences. Something to do with the bolt pattern on the bell housing is different. Engine mounts, some other things. People in the know will tell you a lot better than I can. I don't think you can just do an engine swap with a Polo engine. Oh, the oil pump's different as well. But anyway, I think you have to swap the engine and the gearbox if you want to swap the engine, and that involves other things as well. There we are. It says IFA on it and everything. In order to start it, there is the choke. Now, as I understand it, that bit on the right there, the brown bit, the plasticky bit, has a coil in it, bimetallic coil, and as it heats up, it moves that flap to open and close it. Let me just prop the bonnet and I'll show you. Right, so as I understand it, there's a bimetallic coil in there, and as that expands, it's like a clock spring, it moves that flap, which takes the choke off. At the moment it's stuck with the choke on at all times. So something's happened to that whereby it's not getting, I don't know if it runs on electricity, because looking at it, I don't think there's a cable, there's a little pipe going in there. So yeah, there's something up with that anyway. So I need to sort that. That's on the to-do list. It's got a new fuel filter in it. It's looking quite good considering that that's the old one. So it's definitely yeah, there's not really a great deal more to say about that as of yet. I'm probably going to be giving it an oil and filter service. But that engine means hopefully it'll be a far more usable car than the Trabant, and I can actually use it sort of day to day. Although the Trabant is brilliant and a lot of fun, it's not really reliable enough or good enough as a car to be a daily driver, whereas this, I could drive it to work, presuming it's nice and reliable. More of the same on this wing. A very kind bloke called Mark, who lives up the road, has got a Trabant, I keep saying Trabant, got a Wartburg that is breaking because it was totally rotten. The wings aren't rotten particularly, and the inner and outer wing bolt off together, so they're welded to each other, but you can bolt the whole lot off. So there's a possibility, if these are too far gone, I can just swap onto Mark's wings, which is nice. Ah, look, see? That one is how it's supposed to be, around the door. Weird. Another repair panel. More of this ruined seam sealer. It's quite cool at the back, I like it. It reminds me of some sort of Fiat, I think. I'm not entirely sure what Fiat it is it reminds me of. It just makes me think of Fiat. I'll get the keys. So, same with the Trabant. These keys only go in one way. The ignition key only goes in one way. The door key only goes in one way. The door keys go in with that bit facing down. So this is a Wartburg Tourist, one of apparently only 3 in the UK, Tourist being the estate version. And that is the inside of the Wartburg Tourist, which will be hopefully fantastic for dragging mopeds around the place with, combined with that being absolutely amazing for dragging mopeds around the place with. I'm assuming that seat folds down. We'll get into that at a later date because I've not tried it. And quick look under here. Loads more space, look. Some mould. I'm assuming there's a jack in there. Or something. What the hell is that? God, this boot floor's heavy. Right, there appears to be. That's why the rear wipers weren't working, they're empty. I think that's a tool roll. I think that's the jack. I think that's a spare wheel. And a block of wood. Slightly ominous. Don't know why. You'd need to carry a block of wood with you over. Oh look, there's a stay on it. Well, that's handy. A little stay pops down. Oh, it's not really. It's just jammed into the carpet, so I'd better be careful with that. Don't let it falling down, chopping me hands off or anything. So that would appear to be a jack then, I think. Whatever it is, it doesn't want to come out of its bloody bag. Yeah, that's the jack. So the jack is like a big vertical screw, basically, with a bar that sticks out the side that locates into a hole on the frame rails. Or at least it is if it's the same as the Trabant. In you go. I'm also quite intrigued to see what's in the tool roll. And then I'm going to have to go park up because my wife's watching Real Houseplants of Las Vegas or whatever the fuck it is. And it's probably finished by now. It's wearing a little belt lock. Oh, just spotted the stealth reflectors, which are, I assume, obscured by the boot lid when it's down. What a weird place. That's the one on the other side. Yeah, there's another pair on the other side. That looks like a light. It is a light. What the hell? Hang on. Why? I suppose when the boot's up, the reflectors on the rear lights are gone, aren't they? So that's an auxiliary light. Wow, just put lights in the... Anyway. Oh, that's pretty cool. I don't know. Oh, is that electrical cable? The bloody... That's electrical cable. That's just wire for attaching things back on with, like garden wire. Vintage electrical tape. I mean, it's here. I don't know how much use it is, but there's a tool roll. I think I can get a small toolbox in there with more stuff in it. Cool, cool. In the boot, there's also this metric shit ton of stuff. I mean, this is a perfect example, right? It's obviously not in English because it's not an English car. So someone has gone through. This is a repair manual, I think. They've gone through, translated every page in handwriting. Wow. There's also a completely handwritten owner's manual for this particular car, I think. Which might... I don't know, actually. With it being handwritten, it might have an explanation of where those switches are. So it might not be for this specific car, but even if it's not, it might have a little bit on the end about all the faffing about that's been done. But yeah, there's just endless amounts. We've got all the MOTs here, we've got like wiring diagrams and stuff. Brilliant. I love the history of vehicles that I buy. So, this is awesome. Yum. Right, it's time to go park up, really. Right, so there's plenty of weird little nuances about this car that I had no idea about. Like the little beeper down there, singing you a little tune. I assume that's the key for the fuel cap, I've not even checked. But we're going to try and get it to start up and drive back to the house. My god. Is the indicators on? No, right. Oh yeah, I forgot to say about this. Ooh, slightly wet stuff. This watery looking stuff in a Johnny Walker bottle is apparently, what did he say it was? Hungarian moonshine from the dude who raffled the car off's uncle. So, yeah, I almost dare try it, but not quite. We'll have to see. Right, let's see if it'll start this time. Yeah. It does sound a bit tappety on the start-up, actually. Probably because I've just ragged the shit out of it. Yeah, it's quieting down a bit now. So, from what I gather on these, they are like, I don't know if it's called CVH, but on Fords it is, or was, style tappets, whereby they are oil-driven. So, I'm assuming... Oh, you can hear the water, can't you? Ooh. Now, look, that noise is water coming down from here into there. How did it get there? It's either got to be a window seal or the sunroof seal or coming through the bonnet vents, I'm guessing, but I don't really know. But what I don't want it to be doing is draining into the floor. Let me grab this fucking gear. You have to press it down to get it in. Right, there we are. What I don't want it to be doing is draining into the bloody frame rails and rotting the car out from the inside, especially if it's been doing that for years. But yeah, apparently the tappet should quieten down a bit once it warms up, hopefully. Second gear. Cool. me. Oh, there's a car. I'm assuming that that little button actually is just for jabbing at the starter motor with until it works. So you just click, 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 and hopefully it'll free itself off. That's just a guess. But it's the best guess I've got at this moment in time. It's weird doing the reversing, looking over your shoulder thing when you're in a car that has the steering wheel on the wrong side. Forgot we didn't have power steering there for a second. Gonna have to re-shunt that. There we go. And we're in. So, there we are. That is my new Trabant. Oh, fucking hell. So there we are, that's my new Wartburg 1.3 4-stroke from 1990 that I won on a raffle. The original raffle video is still on RetroShite, so if you go on the RetroShite website, retroshite.com, or you go on the RetroShite Facebook, you'll be able to have a look around the car. Which explains a few of the things I missed out, I'm sure. It doesn't appear that he knows about this amazing thing. But I mean, could that be any better? Thanks for watching, guys.